Welcome in, everybody. I'm Rob, and I'll be reading some Reddit stories here from the side of Paranormal. This is Oops All Ghosts. We'll be doing things a little differently. Instead of having a live person communicate tonight, I don't have any guests on. We'll be going through some Reddit stories of people who would like to share their stories, but do not want to share their voice. So I have a few stockpiled here to kind of read to everybody and put on the channel. So that'll be great. Hey, thank you. What's going on, Slow Bro? Composer. Post. Camera setup is. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that, buddy. I've been having a bit of a break, and now we're back. I don't have any interviews today, so it'll be Reddit stories, which will be sweet. How's the streaming been going? Overview. It's like, how does this sound? Mute, share screen, share, and screen. Check. You're on a walk and we say a dog standing up. You seen a dog standing up on its back legs? And then it started to talk. Dang, what did the dog say? I don't know what that means. All right. So one of the ones I have saved here is from Kitsune322. It says silhouette of a person standing above bed. So just wanted to share a freaky event that happened for me recently. And I have never had anything like this before. Just was curious if anyone else experienced this similar thing. The other night, me and my husband were asleep. I wake up middle of the night and open my eyes to a silhouette of a man standing above my husband's side of the bed. I started panicking. Of course, waking up my husband and grabbing him to try to pull him away from his side of the bed where the guy was. I told him there was someone next to you, and as soon as I said that, the figure moves away. But when he moves, he sort of walks slowly, but moves fast. And as he moves, he leaves a trail behind, like an object leaves a trail on a camera recording at night. He moved to the corner of the room, and I still saw him. So I reached over and turned the light on, ready to fight, and the figure just vanishes. Ooh. So that one was by Kitsune322. I did reach out to them. They didn't want to share their story, which is fine. But man, I would love to hear more about stuff like that. What is a shadow person, you know? Another one here is Silent Ring 1562. Let's see if I can pull up their story on Pinterest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Rob, and this is Oops All Ghosts. We're having a fun Reddit night, sharing some paranormal stories shared over the internet here. If you got a story you would like to share, hit us up at oopsallghosts@gmail.com. We'd love to reach out to you for you to share your paranormal experience. Post. Spacecraft, Earth. There's a lot of posts, and it is lost here. Okay. Here's another one. Is from upstairs underscore gate 7700. This one says, "There's a spirit following me, and I don't know what it is." So, since I was around 12, I started having very weird dreams. Like, basically astral projected. And eventually the shadow figures started showing up in them, usually in the background. But there was a lot. As a kid, I thought nothing of it. But as I got older, I've started to actually see the shadow figures and have had some scary encounters. Now, when I say this thing is following me, I mean it. I moved from place to place, and there are times where it's not there. Like I can't even sense its energy, but there's a lot of times that I can. I've always been particularly sensitive to energy and other people's emotions. And I feel like the ties into this now, into the actual experiences. I lived in a haunted house when I was like 6, 12 ish. And I mean, it was haunted. Doors would slam in your face. You would hear voices, and my younger brother's room was just the absolute worst. Toys would turn on at random during the night. There was even an Elmo toy that, even after we took the batteries out of it, it did it again. I had two very distinct memories in the house. One, I woke up and assuming I was in sleep paralysis. Uh, and a little boy, probably no older than my brother, to be honest, walked out of the closet, dragging a blue blanket and a stuffed teddy bear. He sat on the end of the sister's bed. Then, that's when I fell back asleep. The next morning, my sister had a scratch mark from the bottom of her leg. The next, it was late one night, and I couldn't sleep. It felt like something started to push up. on the bottom of my mattress. I thought it was nothing at first, but it was very prominent. To the point, it felt like the mattress nearly lifted off the frame and then suddenly stopped. I started hearing it around 14, 15 years old. It always small little words, just here or there, mostly just hellos and goodbyes. It was really confusing for a while, and I even ended up inpatient because my mom thought I was going crazy or had schizophrenia or Smith, which it didn't. But they put me on antipsychotics, which didn't help any. A year or two of this, and I'm 16, and by now, it's when I started feeling its energy more. And it felt like it was attempting to make contact in my dreams. I didn't dream vividly much at this age, but when I did, it usually had to do something with the shadow figure. One night, I was having a very vivid dream and was semi conscious. And suddenly, I'm yanked out of the dream and standing on the bed next to my sleeping body. I was really confused for a moment before I noticed a shadowy figure, like literally inches looming over my body. It looked up at me, the one standing on the bed, and I jolted awake very violently this time. I could see it for like 2 to 3 seconds after I woke up, and then it was gone. The next encounter was I was up gaming one night, like close to midnight, when I look over at my hallway. I was gaming in the living room, and clear as day, see the shadow figure just standing there. And then it started to wave. At first, I just stared at it. Thought my mind was playing tricks on me because it was kind of dark. But I got to the point it was so clearly moving, like there was something genuine standing in the hallway waving at me. But I got up and turned the light on so fast, and then it was gone. I've had several more brief encounters, but these are more prevalent ones. Recently, I've started to look into this spirit more as its energy feels around me very often. It comes and goes, but its energy feels different when I talk about it. Feels sharper. Almost, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I have a Ouija board that I specifically bought because I wanted to contact this spirit once and for all. Did it once by myself, and it felt like nothing really happened. To be honest, I haven't really used it since because the last time I tried, I picked it up and just got this really weird feeling. I immediately put it back down. Now it falls all over the place. Recently, and just so conveniently landed on my lap or near my feet. I don't trust whatever's happening with this. Recently, as this spirit or whatever it has been, so aggressive with its approach. If that's even what this is, someone please help me out. I don't know what to do. I know it sounds crazy, but I've been seeking answers for years now. Whew. That was a long one, but a good one. My thoughts on this. My thoughts. You know, I never had too many spiritual encounters, but to have them consistently in my life, I think would be way too much. Way too much. You know what I mean? Like, do you just keep moving and notice that it follows you? Or, do you stay? What do you call it? Do you do the sage? Do, 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 do. Alright. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Rob, and this is Oops All Ghosts. Tonight, we're having a Reddit night. Normally, we have guests on sharing their own paranormal experiences in their own ways and how they experienced them. Tonight, I don't have any guests. It'll just be me, Reddit, and talking to you guys in the chat. So, any questions, feel free to pop on. I'm on YouTube there. It will be posted more as a shortcut to the stories later. If you want to hear more, check out YouTube, Spotify, or Amazon if you want to hear the podcast. Great stories, great people. I kind of want to share it as like almost like a campfire tell-in of these paranormal experiences. This one's a short one. By Low Key Crazies. I says, well, that just happened. It starts. I live in a haunted house that I'm too broke to move out of. I was just sitting on my table drinking coffee from my French press when the whole thing flies off the table and hits the hutch across the room. White comes in asking, what the heck happened? So I told her. We both just look at each other and get the broom and mop to clean it up. It doesn't even faze us anymore at this point. Cabinet doors are consistently opening on their own. Furniture moves while we sleep. Glasses flying off the shelves to the point that we have switched to plastic cups. Once I took my son's phone as punishment and it flew off the shelf where I had it and hit me in the arm. But hey, there's a 3-bedroom in the country and the rent is very cheap. They also don't care that I have 3 pit bulls and a bulldog, so the ghost is just going to have to learn to live with me. Dang straight, buddy. Tell it. That's a funny one. It's like, no, we're not going anywhere. This place is too good. Ghost, either step up or get out, you know? What would you guys say if you realize that things are flying off and just feeling the haunted feeling? Oh, I think I have like 2 or 3 more saved here. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Rob, and this is Oops All Ghosts podcast, the sharing of the paranormal stories. Tonight is good old Reddit night, so I'll be hanging out with you guys in the chat as well as reading some paranormal stories here on Reddit, from shadowy figures to UFO sightings. I want to hear it. If you got your own, you can hit me up in any social media service in the DMs or oopsallghosts@gmail.com. I would love to get you on to share your story. But I'll be here tonight hanging out for a while. Okay, we're just going to head over to the paranormal forum. How's everybody doing tonight? We're just going to be looking for a new story. As I just went through all the ones I have saved from people who I've chatted to see if they want to go on the podcast here, and they denied but said I can share their story with a little more details. So that's always kind of them. A visit from my best friend after he passed away. Hi everyone. I want to share something that happened to me about 10 years ago. It's one of my only paranormal experience I've ever had. My best friend, who I had known for 18 years and who I had become a blood brother with, we actually exchanged blood, passed away unexpectedly. 2 days later, I drove about 200 kilometers to visit his parents and support them. That evening, they told me that the small bedside lamp in his room had suddenly turned on the exact same time as the night before, even though they were sure it's been switched off. At that moment, I didn't think too much of it. I was still completely numb from his death. And later that night, I decided to sleep on the couch in his room. The family lived in a smaller apartment. And again, at the exact same time, the bedside lamp turned on by itself. I woke up immediately and checked the switch. It was still in the off position. Strangely, I didn't feel scared at all. In fact, it was comforting. I honestly felt like he was just stopping by for one last time to say goodbye. I don't know what caused it, but the thought that my best friend, my blood brother, might have wanted to say goodbye one last time still makes me happy. That is nice. It'd be nice to just have a final goodbye from the other side. It's like that new movie coming out. Except it's on the dark side. Reddit, Reddit. Ooh, a nice long one. It's got 1.2 upvotes and 121 comments. This one comes from K Page IV. Posted 3 days ago, and it says, "My husband's strange encounter." At 1:52 a.m., my phone rings. It's my husband. He already texted me, letting me know he was on his way home from work. Worried that something was wrong, I answer, "Hey, babe, you okay?" Silence. "Can you hear me?" "I can hear you now. Are you okay?" "I don't know what just happened. I'm almost home, but I saw something. I'm about to lose surface. Be waiting on me, please." I get a bed and I stand at the front door waiting to see the headlights come down our long driveway. He gets in the door with a shocked look on his face. This is what he said. "I saw these things, these tall white things. A tall man, a tall white woman with two other tall white people. Not white like the skin color, snow white. They were standing out by abandoned train tracks on X roads. The woman had what my brain could only comprehend to a trash bag with light. I know that's not what it was, but that's what it reminded me of. When I saw them, they noticed me too, and I got this feeling. I can't explain it, but I just need to get out of there. An unease came over me. I'm not sure what they were, but it wasn't right. They're not human." I started reheating his dinner, and then it hit me. That automatically made me think the tall whites. I googled tall whites and asked my husband if any of these photos were comparable. He scrolled to one image and said, "Yes, this is close." The next morning, we decided to go back where he saw them, and there was a black man on the ground like something scorched the earth. Even more puzzling was that it had lightly rained the night before it was raining, when he saw them. Nobody lives in this area where he saw them. It's just an old one lane road that connects to two larger roads and crosses the abandoned railroad tracks. We also live on the outskirts of a very tiny little town. It's unlikely that anyone was far out making a sorry guys fire directly. As we were walking towards I'm missing some stuff. We also live on the outskirts of a very tiny little town. It's unlikely that anyone was this far out, making a fire directly next to the roads and tracks. As we're walking towards the car, an old man in a beat up old Ford pulls up beside us. He says, "Hey, what are y'all up to?" Neither of us recognized him. We just nodded and said, "We are looking at something in our car. Is your car it?" Oh my goodness, my English. We were looking at something. Is our car in your way? He puts his truck in park and gets out. He says, "No, y'all are fine. Did you see kids? Did you? Wow. Did you kids see something interesting?" My husband said, I saw something one night on my way home from work. Not sure what it was, though." The old man says, "Is that right? I live over that way half all my life," as he points towards the highway. An awkward silence falls over us a few seconds as we're walking to the car. Then he says, "Y'all believe in aliens?" My husband and I both look at each other. I say, "Yeah, actually, we do." He goes on to tell us that he and his late wife experienced a lot of strange occurrences out there over the years. He said the scorch mark was from them and asked if we've ever seen anything in the sky that was unidentifiable. My husband showed him a video that was taken a couple months back of a UFO over our house. He invited us over to his house, saying that he had some images he'd like to show us. I may not have been the best decision, but we agreed. My husband has his carry permit, so I wasn't too worried. We followed him to an old farmhouse. He said his grandparents built the house in the 1800s, and all of them have seen and experienced things all around the property. He goes to a little garage shack and retrieves some old Polaroid pictures, all 5 photo pictured of classic flying saucers. "My father took these," he said. "There's more in the house somewhere," he goes on to tell us. That he's not exactly sure where they came from or why they're here, but he knows they're different species and different kind of craft. I like to think we gained a friend, but I'm still not 100% sure on what my husband encountered. I thought I'd share my story here. Ooh, nice little alien story there. White face. Huh. You never know what's out there. Like white, tall people. Did they have hair or no hair? One looked woman-like. That could also mean the figure could have been woman-like. Interesting, spooky stuff. Oh my goodness. Alright, guys. I'm Rob, and this is Oops All Ghosts. Apparently a paranormal podcast where I'm just super itchy. Okay. Let's just take a moment. So yeah, a couple great spooky stories. I have a paranormal podcast where there's plenty more there from people telling their own stories. I'd love to hear more. If anybody's got them, hit up oopsallghost@gmail.com or hit me up in my DMs. I'd love to get you on and we can have a story time. Story time. I want to do something. Let's see. All right, this one's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be from ChatGPT. I said, "Tell me a super spooky ghost story." The Whispered Room. When Emily and her fiance moved into their new farmhouse, it was the quiet that sold her. Miles from neighbors, surrounded by woods, and an attic perfect for her art studio. But within the first week, she started hearing voices upstairs. Not shouts, whispers. So faint that she couldn't make out the words. At first, she thought it was the wind in the rafters. Then she realized the whispers only happened when she painted. They'd start as she lifted her brush, a soft hiss of breath just behind her ear. As she stopped painting, the sound would stop. One night, she decided to test it. She left her phone recorded on the easel while she went downstairs. The attic door creaked shut on its own. When she played the record back later, she froze. There were whispers, dozens of overlapping voices, but one clear as day spoke in a low rasp. "You're painting us wrong." Emily stopped going to the attic after that, but her fiance, curious, went up himself one afternoon. He found her last canvas turned around against the wall. When he flipped it over, the faces she had painted were gone. In their places were new faces, hundreds of pale, wide-eyed figures, each one looking directly at him. And from somewhere in the rafters, faint and breathily, came the sound of someone quietly laughing. Ooh, that wasn't too bad. Oh, ChatGPT. Have you guys in chat ever experienced anything paranormal? I've only had a couple in my life, and a few friends share their own. That's why I started this channel, to kind of hear more stories of the paranormal. Oh, guys. I'm having a hard time, which is why I haven't been posting recently. This one was posted 4 hours ago. 2 upvotes, and it's a bit of a lengthy one. So we'll go through this. Welcome in. We're reading some paranormal Reddit stories. Oh. 1 second. Okay. This one's by Minimus1W. It says, "Hi, everyone. This is something that happened to me when I was around 13 years old. I've only shared it with my aunt and my cousin before, but I've been thinking about it lately and decided to finally share my story. I was walking home from a friend's house in the middle of the night, probably around 1 a.m. She lived about 2 miles away from me, out from the countryside. I often walked home from her place, even when it was dark. Nothing strange had ever happened before. It was a really quiet area where nothing ever goes on. That night, I had my headphones in, just walking like usual. I was halfway home when suddenly I got this horrible feeling like something was watching me. It wasn't just nerves. My whole body froze and I got chills all over. I stopped walking and looked around, and that's when I saw it. Out in the field next to the road, there was a shadow figure just standing there. When I looked at it, it looked right back at me, and my whole body went cold. It was tall and dark, hard to describe, like the Slender Man, but not quite, just wrong. Then it turned its head towards me and suddenly started running straight at me. I don't think I've ever been that scared in my life. I could hear my heart pounding in my ears. I just ran full speed all the way home without looking back. When I got home, I couldn't sleep. I was shaking, sitting on the bed with all the lights on, just waiting for morning. At some point, I must have fallen asleep because I had the most terrifying dream. In the dream, I was hanging out with some friends with two kids came up asking for help with their grandma. I followed them, but when we got to their house, the kids just smiled at me. Then their grandma turned into the same shadow figure from the field. I started running, and I remembered thinking, this is a dream. I need to wake up. Then I woke up, but I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. It felt like someone was sitting on my chest, holding me down, choking me. Then suddenly, I was back in a dream again, still running. I tried to wake up again. Same thing. Couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Third time, I finally woke up for real. I sat gasping for air, crying. It felt like I was actually being choked. I have asthma, so I made it even worse. I texted my cousin in the middle of the night, panicking, asking what it could have been. She tried looking it up online, but didn't find much back then. A few days later, strange little things started happening. One night, I had some friends over watching horror movies, funny enough. My curtain suddenly started swaying wildly. I could feel something there, but I didn't say anything. My friends joked, you probably have the window open. The window was closed. They say that, and they got really quiet. Then one of the plastic letters from my wall decorations, it said, live, laugh, love, fell off. Just the E from live, then the L from love fell too. My friends freaked out and left, and I was alone with whatever it was. After that, I don't remember much of that time in my life. It's all kind of blank. I did go through a rough period mentally and physically back then. So sometimes I wonder if the thing was feeding off the energy. I don't know if it really ever left. Sometimes I can feel it around me, and I've never walked that road again. Huh, wow. But that'd be spooky though. Seeing the shadowy figure in the distance, and when you look at it, it looks back and then starts running at you. I'd stand there and pee. That's probably what I do. I'd stand there and pee. And then they said things kept getting worse. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Moving Ghost. Okay, there's three good titles here. Help me out, chat. One says, Moving Ghost. Should I tell a landlord? I didn't believe in ghosts until last night. Or the last one, I saw the devil in Bulgaria. Which one should we go through? That is the question. Dun 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 dun. Let's see. Well, let's start with. Oh, it's a short one. Okay. So I saw The Devil in Bulgaria by Mr. underscore gas underscore mask underscore. It was posted 10 hours ago. It's got 4 upvotes, 4 comments. Let's go through what this person saw. Oh, my nose won't stop. Ugh. I do not really know why I'm writing this. Maybe because I haven't slept properly in weeks. Every time I close my eyes, I see it again. The black figure standing among the trees. If someone had told me I'd ever talk about something like this, I would have laughed. But here I am, typing this with shaky hands. It started on one of the strangely warm October Saturdays when the air smells like dry leaves and dust. My friend Pitar and I decided to hike up Bendon Hill just to drink some coffee at the top and look at the city. I've always liked that place. There's something heavy about it, old and alive somehow. The Turks called it Dendim, which means hell. My grandmother used to tell me that at night you could hear footsteps out there, but you should never ask who it is. I laughed back then. I would not know. It was around noon. The sun was strong and the air was trembling, and everything was quiet in a strange way. We sat on the rocks near the antenna and watched uh, pull the city spread beneath us like a toy city. After a while, Petaro went silent. He squinted and nodded towards the trees. Did you see that down there? He asked. At first, I thought it was a man, but the more I stared, the less human it looked. I could not make out any details, no clothes, no face, no reflection from the sun. It wasn't just black. It was the kind of black that eats the light around it, like a hole in the world. Then I smelt it, burnt metal mixed with something rotten. Petar cursed and said we should leave. I wanted to move, but my body wouldn't listen. The thing turned towards us, not like a person. It didn't move, just shifted, like space itself bent the wrong way. The air suddenly felt heavy. Everything went dead silent. No birds, no wind, even the city noise disappeared. Then came the sound, not really a voice, more like whispers scraping against metal. I could not understand the words, but it felt like they were echoing inside my head instead of my ears. And then it was gone. No movement, no sound, just empty air where it had been. Peter was already halfway down the path, yelling at me to move. I finally did. When we reached the bottom, neither of us said a word. He looked pale, like he hadn't slept in days. Then he said quietly, "Don't call me. I do not want to remember this." And he walked away. The next day I texted him. No answers. 2 days later, I heard he'd been taken to the hospital. His mother said he woke up screaming at night, saying the black one was standing by his window. I haven't been the same since. At night, when I turn off the lights, I keep seeing something move at the edge of my vision, shapes darker than dark. Sometimes, if I listen closely, I can still hear the faint metallic whispers, like breath on the back of my neck. And the worst part, last week I was standing on my balcony and you can see the whole hill from there. Right on the top where we sat that day, I saw it again. A black figure still as a statue watching the city below. Maybe I'm imagining this. Maybe fear's just messing with my head. But deep down, I know one thing. The hill is called Dendum for a reason. Ooh. That story was crazy. So black figure just runs through and senses them and stops and just stares at them. And they hear just a metallic voice below them in their heads calling them. Man, that would be a very scary experience. Have you guys ever had an experience like that story? Dun, 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 dun. I've had very few paranormal experiences. But not one like that. Definitely not one like that. Dun, dun, dun. Oh. I saw the devil in Bulgaria. That was a good one. Orbs. Every night I see two figures hovering around my daughter on her baby monitor. No way. Whew. Shall we read that one? It's by alternative underscore war underscore 3556 if you want to check it out. 19 upvotes so far and 33 comments. Let's go in. We'll start with the title. Every night I see two figures hovering around my daughter on our baby monitor. I've got a baby monitor that features a video camera and a portable screen, which I can easily carry around. I hadn't used it for a while and honestly couldn't recall why. Recently, I decided to set it up in the bedroom where our daughter's toddler bed is. After tucking her in at night, my husband and I usually stay up a bit longer. So we rely on the camera to check in on her as she wakes up. However, I've been noticing some odd occurrences on the monitor, like what seems to be the figure standing on her bed at times, or what looks like a face next to hers that isn't hers. It's been pretty unsettling, and every time I ask my husband to check, there's nothing there. I've even tried adjusting the camera to see if it's just my imagination, but when I reposition it, those strange sights persist. It's concerning, especially my little girl is only 2. I've never sensed any negative energy in our room. It always felt perfectly normal since we moved into our 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse. If I ever hear noises like footsteps, I usually brush it off because our places shares walls with neighbors. It's common to hear them moving about or using plumbing. But the thing I'm witnessing on the baby monitor are generally creeping me out. This isn't just one-off incident. That's almost every night. The figures don't even appear to cause any harm. They simply hover by her bed and stand watching her. Occasionally, I even catch one gliding across the room before vanishing. I don't know how much about former tenants aside that there was a neighbor had mentioned, but from what I gather, there haven't been any tragedies here. What really worries me is that the entities seem to linger around my daughter, and that frightens me. She's so young, and it's hard to gauge what their intents may be. I'm concerned about the figures. If anyone might have any advice on why they hover around my daughter would be helpful. Ooh, that would not be okay. We've had a couple scares on our baby monitors when the kids were little, but nothing like that. Nothing like that. Sometimes you get little bugs that fly by and you think those are orbs. It's like, nope.